I'm leaving Silverthorne, Colorado. I hiked over to Breckenridge and took the free bus from Breckenridge up here to Silverthorne. And I'm hopping on an alternate to avoid some of the high country. I'll talk more later. I'm glad to get out of town. That was a cluster down there at the interstate interchange and all the different roads. Well, I think I'm finally on track here. It's real windy up here, but I do believe I crossed an interstate. Got some business to take care of. These yellow flowers that you see often on my videos lately are dandelions. This trail is called the Ptarmigan Trail. We're going to go over Ptarmigan Pass this afternoon, but it is an official CDT route. It's blue on the Far Out app. It's the blue line. Kind of a light blue. Not much of a trail here, but I'm supposed to cut over to the pass and not hit the peak, which is fine with me. Just following the GPS right now. I don't really want to know what's on the other side of that. That last one was a false top. Got another mile to go. The pass is over here. Windy up here today. I decided to go around the bottom of this one instead of crossing it. It's too slushy and I don't have an ice axe. And it looks safer to go this way. Every time I get to what I think is the pass, there's another pass behind it. It's a cruel joke. This is the first time I've hit the snow in the afternoon like this. It's 4:20 and just stopped to take a break. I'm 2 miles from camp though, and I think the snow is letting up. The trail's going to start switchbacking down, so that means we will be losing elevation quickly. My feet are frozen though. They've been wet for an hour, a couple hours probably. This is a steep hillside. It felt like my skin was really tight and it was bothering me. It looks like somebody took an ice pick and just totally scraped me up. Oh, God. Well, my shins were all healed. Not anymore. It's about 6:30. Camped in a big clearing last night with Toledo, who I met back the night before Pie Town at that ranch. And we had dinner in Silverthorne. Really nice guy. And then across the creek from us, I could see his tent, was the fellow I met yesterday, Joyride. They're still back there. I'm the first one out this morning. Good night's sleep. I fell asleep listening to a podcast and slept really well. It's cold this morning. My feet are cold because my shoes are wet. We're climbing up high, getting back on the actual CDT 10 miles from now. Pretty amazing ridge up here. Kind of reminds me of the Whites or something like that. I think that's Toledo over there. I decided to come down these rocks and cross this basin instead of doing the side hill thing. I'm glad to see he's there though, because we got to go over a sketchy thing. Oh, where is it? Right there. And he'll be there to be support. Oh my God, I made it to the top. I just crossed that big basin. I'm proud of myself, but at the same time, 200 more miles in Colorado, my heart can't take that. Ooh, that was scary. I'm gonna wait here for Toledo and make sure he makes it up okay. Commiserate with him. Woo! I'm always eager to get back down into the trees after I've been up like this. But at the other end of this little valley, you can see where if we climb back out, I'd like to stay in the trees. There's where I came from. There's where I'm going. Almost to the top. It's been a long climb. Not as scary as the one this morning because it's a road, but oh my, long climb. More crazy terrain. I would stop and camp if it were possible. Way too exposed to camp right now. I think I'm getting close to some trees. I camped way up high last night. I didn't make it to the trees. And it was a scary little last bit of hiking yesterday. It kind of induced a panic attack last night in my tent and got me second guessing this trip and figuring out when I'm gonna get off trail and all that stuff. But I'm not jumping to any conclusions. I am gonna bail off this route though if I can today. 10 miles to a pass, and then it's a 12-mile road walk to Winter Park. So that's what I think's gonna happen anyway. We'll see. And it's 6:45 on June 29th. Snow conditions are still too much for an Easterner like me. It's really not that bad, but not for me. So this morning's task is to get up and around that little bit of snow. The trail is on the other side. It's on the other side of this ridge here. It's 7:07 and I'm back up on the trail. But this is the ridge that the CDT came down, and you can see the trail there going underneath that snowbank. The bottom line, that's just too scary for me. I don't like that stuff. There is a tunnel that carries water underneath the divide. Did you know that? This is where it comes out, I think, down here. I talked to one of the guys that works there yesterday. They own that barn. So I just bailed off the divide up there. That's Vasquez Pass. The trail went over this way, but I came down through the opening where there was no snow. I need to work my way back over that way, reconnect with the trail. But I'll be walking out this drainage to Winter Park, an unplanned stop. But after yesterday and the day before, a welcomed stop. I'm bushwhacking down this drainage. Everything's soggy. There's a lot of blowdowns. There's no trail. I'm gonna hit the trail later, but I'm still relaxed and more comfortable than I am up at those higher elevations. That was just freaking me out bad. I'm okay in the forest. That's kind of a fun bushwhack, but I finally did connect with this trail. Taking a nice relaxed lunch, drying out my sleeping bag and my shoes and my socks and my tent. Since we were sleeping in the clouds last night, there was a lot of condensation. And we've been walking through marsh for the last 4 or 5 miles. Good morning. I camped near the trailhead for the Vasquez Pass trail that I came down yesterday. It was a 8-mile long trail, something like that, and I think I have 6 or 7 maybe to get to town from what it looks like on Forest Service roads. The funny thing though is when I camped last night, I was a little worried because I'm right next to a really well-used game trail. This morning I was awoken by the sound of hooves hitting a log, and I flipped over real quick just in time to see a moose walk by. He wasn't on the trail. He bypassed my tent by a good 20 or 30 feet. He went through the woods. I'm sure he was annoyed. But anyway, walking, I didn't have time to get a picture. He just walked on through. But walking into Winter Park this morning, and we'll figure out from there. This is my tent spot from last night. It's 6:30. I've been getting on the trail around 6:30 lately. Earlier in the trip it was always 7. Last night I got to camp really early, 3 o'clock. I listened to some sports podcasts and some backpacker radio, and then had a brief but pretty wicked thunderstorm. Lightning hit near here, and it kind of confirmed my decision to come down here. It would have been such a good stretch of weather, but I had a feeling there would be some thunderstorms. That's not the main reason. The main reason is the snow, but I was sure glad to be down here, and I thought about Toledo up there on the ridge. I think I have his Nalgene. I found it on the trail, so definitely have to connect with him, get him his Nalgene back, and hear how the conditions were beyond where I dropped off. Really thinking hard about what to do on the rest of this hike, how to proceed from here, because I'm not going back up into high snow like that anymore. I just am done with that. So funny walking this road. It's very flat, but there's a lot of car camping. I've probably passed a dozen or more car camping sites already, and everybody's asleep.